Hello, members and friends of the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. This is Dave, Whiskey Zero, Delta Delta Zulu. This week we didn't live stream the Aries Region 3 District 2 net because the Preparedness Education Group teamed up with Aries to do a remote net to help operators learn net control, and we were there to record it live. I want to give a big shout out to Eric, K0EV, for letting us record his first net control, and thanks to the PEG group for organizing the net and the talk after.
This net meets each Thursday evening on the 447.275 repeater, courtesy of the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. All stations with 70 centimeter privileges, 3/4 meter, whatever, are invited to check in. All announcements are about amateur radio related activities, including public events and meetings are welcome. Okay, let me make sure I got it. Okay, this is a directed net, and all traffic will go through the net control station. This is Kilowatt Zero, Echo Victor, K0EV. My name is Eric, and I am located in Timnath. I will be your net control station for this session of the net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic before we begin? Come now, please.
Can you use mix minus to...
Nothing heard in your relays?
To cut the mic out of the...
Okay, is there any formal NTS traffic for the net? Come now. Problem?
Yeah, he's cutting out on me.
Okay, when checking into the net, again, nothing heard. When checking into the net, please give your call using standard ITU phonetics, followed by your name and then your location. Please do that slowly and distinctly because my ears are just getting old. And I will check you in. We'll probably have a few doubles, so we'll get everybody here checked in. Stations with traffic for the net should indicate so during the check-in. I will now take check-ins from stations using battery or emergency power by call suffix. Stations using battery or emergency power with call suffixes alpha through Mike. Come now, please. Okay, no doubles so far that I've heard. You're all very well behaved, so I acknowledge KD0 Uniform Sugar Bravo, Mike, W2MIC, Mark, Kilo 0 BAN, Philip, AC0AS, Levi, and K0JEF. Anyone else, Alpha through Mike?
One thing right there. Use the IT.
Yeah.
This is Whiskey Zero Golf Whiskey Charlie Mobile Dan lost in Timnath.
Lost in 10 minutes.
Kilo, Foxtrot, 4, Delta, Uniform, Sierra, Mike, portable at Horseshoe Mountain.
This is Kilo Echo Zero Lima Charlie Kilo. Another Mike from Windsor, portable, no traffic.
This is Kilo 0 Alpha Bravo Kilo Alec 10 minutes no traffic.
Maybe lost two.
Alec is here.
Oh,
He just walked out.
moving
he's
out.
here.
Yeah, he's out in the parking lot.
This is Whiskey Niner, India, November, Echo, Larry, Estes Park.
Can I go through without?
Okay.
messing with the camera?
I acknowledge Larry, Whiskey 9, India, November, Echo, Kilo 0, Alpha Bravo, Kilo, Alec, Kilo Echo 0, Lima, Charlie, Kilo, Mike, Kilo Fox 4, Delta Uniform, Sierra, Mike, and Whiskey 0, Gulf, Whiskey, Charlie, and I didn't catch the name.
Dan.
The name is Dan.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else, Alpha through Mike?
Dan, he's up in none.
Well, he's here right now, though. He's mobile.
Dan is?
Yes.
Okay, any
He's looking
station,
for it.
Alpha through Zero, the full alphabet, Alpha through Zulu, come now. Whoops, I missed it.
Kilo Echo 0, November 2, Tango, Jason in Fort Collins.
Jason?
W0 RDC, that's Whiskey 0, Romeo Delta Charlie, Rob, Owl Canyon.
Yeah, I know where he is.
This is Kilo Charlie 0, Zulu, India, Echo, Aaron, Timna.
I'm gonna go outside and throw it into.
Kilo Delta 0, Tango Yankee Uniform, Joe Loveland. This is Kilo Delta 0, Uniform Juliet Kilo, Steve, and Pittman. One announcement.
Ah,
This is Whiskey 0, Delta Delta Zulu, Dave and Timnit.
They're all in 10 minutes, I'm not here.
This is Kilo Delta 0, Zulu, Whiskey Uniform, KD0 ZWU, Terry, Mobile, Berthoud.
ZIE.
thank you.
I'm getting partials. Yeah, I mean, that's what this is for.
All
practice.
right. So far I've got Kilo Delta 0, Zulu Whiskey Uniform, Terry. Whiskey 0, Delta Delta Zulu, Dave. Kilo Delta 0, Uniform, Juliet Kilo. And you've got an announcement, we got you down for that. Kilo Delta 0, Tango Uniform, Tango Yankee Uniform. Erstwhile stepped outside, I guess. Kilo Charlie 0, Z Zulu India Echo. Whiskey 0, Romeo Delta Charlie, up near where I live, and Kilo Echo 0, Nancy Yankee Tango. And there was somebody at the very beginning, very weak, I missed that, so come again now, please.
Whiskey 0, Tango Juliet Hotel. This is W0TJH, TJ and Berthoud.
Yeah, it's always okay. Thanks, TJ, I got you. Whiskey 0, Tango Juliet Hotel. All right, now, let's see. I'll take check-ins from all other stations. Any other stations for Aries R3 District 2 Net? This is Kilo 0 Echo Victor, standing by for check-ins. I think we got a lot of check-ins.
Kilo Echo 0, Mike, Quebec, Alpha, and trying to get there, but apparently I'm lost.
Not the only
This is Whiskey Bravo 0, India, X-Ray, Victor, WD0, IXV.
Estes Park, yeah, that was double. That was a double. I got IXV. What's the other one?
Estes Park.
Yeah, Whiskey Bravo 0, India X-Ray Victor. You're in Estes Park?
Yeah, there's two of us trying to check in. I think we've been doubling with each other. This is WB0IXV, Dave at the Estes Park Med Center, and November 6 Uniform Alpha, Doug, also in Estes Park, was trying to check in.
Okay, I got Dave, thank you. N6, Nancy 6
UA.
Uniform Alpha. Dave, or Doug, you're Doug, okay. Yeah, come again. He's not making it. Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're making it. I also acknowledge Kilo Echo Zero, Mike Queen Alpha. Let's see, who's lost? I didn't get a name because you didn't give it. So we're down here south of Harmony, so we're not up in Timnath proper. So we're down here at the fire station. This is Kilo Zero Echo Victor, standing by for check-ins to the Colorado Aries Region 3 District 2 net. Come now.
This is Kilo 6 Oscar Golf, David, Estes Park Med Center.
David. Did we get everybody?
Yeah.
I missed it. Is that a check-in?
Yeah.
I didn't
That
know.
Kilo 6 Oscar Golf.
I got him, but was there somebody that?
No.
There's,
Oh,
might have been the tail end of a double, I'm not sure.
Random noise.
okay, I got Kilo 6 Oscar Golf. Thanks for the checking in. Check-in, anybody else?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, Kevin, N7, Nancy 7 Golf Echo Sugar. Oh, we got you, Kevin.
You weren't supposed to get that.
Yeah, but we heard it.
That was the whole point. You weren't supposed to get it though.
We knew who it was. No big deal.
Kilo
I heard you,
0,
yes.
Yankee Victor India, Greg in love.
KD0YVI.
Thank you. Great.
You mean I didn't muffle it enough, huh?
Okay, I acknowledge Greg, Kilo Delta Zero, Yankee Delta India. Anyone else? I like headphones.
Okay, let's
Okay.
continue on.
All right.
I'll go outside and give you an announcement so that it's not too much
Do you
talking.
have an announcement?
Yeah. Just a.
Okay.
Training.
This is
Okay.
Kilowatt Zero Echo Victor with the Aries Region 3 District 2 net. We will now move on to net business. We have one announcement from Kilo Delta Zero Uniform Juliet Kilo.
Go ahead.
We can go ahead and give your announcement there. What was his name?
Yeah, this is
Steve.
KD0UJK. Just one more reminder of the upcoming Skywarn weather training on
That's right,
24th
that's
March,
the Skywarn
followed by
24th.
Aries activity afterwards. That'll be on 24th of March at the Police Services Building at 2221 Timberline. Hope to see you all there. Back to net.
Okay, thank you, Steve. With that announcement, we've got any other net business from those attending?
KD02YU with an announcement.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, NCARC, NCARC is having a HF seminar this weekend over at the
Now, while they're doing that, it's a good time to count.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right, and time-wise, yeah.
3400
Yep.
West Line. If you're interested, get on the website at NCARC. No reservations, just come on down. So with that, I'll send it back to you. Thanks.
24. Okay, well, thank you for that announcement. At this point, is there any other business for the net?
You can write it in there as 24 chickens.
Okay. All right, that's optional, so that's that.
No,
We don't check
just that box is optional.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, with no further business, then I would like to thank each station for checking in and the NCARC for the use of their repeater this evening. All stations with appropriate privileges are invited to participate in the following nets. The statewide Aries HF net on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. on a frequency of 3.810 megahertz. The statewide Aries VHF net on Sunday evening at 8 p.m. on the 145.310 repeater using a tone of 88.5, otherwise known as the Colorado Connection. Thanks all for checking in and participating. Tonight we had 24 check-ins. The duration of the net was 16 minutes. And we had 2 announcements. This net will meet again next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. local, 73 and good evening. The repeater is now open for normal use. This is Kilowatt Zero Echo Victor.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Couple of extra things thrown in there that you didn't need.
Yeah, I didn't. You're right.
But other than that, it was pretty good. We didn't do what we wanted to. We only had one guy do the whole thing.
Oh, we were supposed to.
It's kind of tough to
Yeah,
switch
it is.
into the middle of it though. But
US here.
So what'd you guys think of the net? Not too bad? You're all good, you're all signed up to do one? Or you seem awfully hesitant.
to do wars.
I think you need to run a Aries net sometime.
Yeah, sure.
When you feel like it.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not
I'm right
hard.
behind you, brother.
I've done tons of them. So you're wrong behind me.
I hear what you're saying. I understand it.
What would be your hesitation? Any of you that were kind of hesitant tonight or not? What would be your hesitation in doing it? What part of it would be your?
Well, the only reason why I say that Mike should start doing it pretty soon, we've got Mike now, he's done the wars net a few times.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he's starting to work into that, doing that.
Yeah.
When he feels comfortable, sure he'll do an Aries net when he
Well,
feels
there's a
comfortable.
I just, yeah.
One of the club type nets or Aries type nets and an actual event.
Well, yeah, but this is just a net.
Well, because see, I put him on the Horseshoe Lake boat race last year.
Yeah, he said, oh, you can do it, no problem. Well, I did it.
And there was no problem.
Wow. Fortunately,
It's not as hard as people
fortunately,
think.
there's only like 8 operators, and they're spread out along Horsetooth Reservoir. And as the boats go up and back, you're supposed to spot them and make sure that if one happens to turn over, they have chase boats in the water pre-positioned.
Which event is that?
Horsetooth Lake.
Horseshoe Lake, it's a rowing event in Horseshoe Reservoir.
I can just bring my boat.
James usually runs that, and but he had an anniversary or something, and his wife said, "You gotta."
Yeah, his family, he was choosing over us, I don't get it.
But anyhow, it's different when you actually have to do something than just write down a list of names.
Yeah.
And let it-
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
lot less
It
pressure,
is.
but there's still that hesitancy. I don't know if you call it mic fright or whatever it is,
Yeah.
where you're out in front and you know whatever you say, a lot of people are going to hear. So you're trying to not to make an idiot out of yourself.
Well,
You do,
that's really not something to worry about. People are gonna make mistakes once in a while. It's gonna happen. We're all human. We
Now, I
make
know
mistakes.
David's jumped in there and he's done an outstanding job. He's
Wow.
very comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
you just aren't listening for my mistakes. I hear them all.
No.
He's
That was a great net.
he's a little mouthy, but other than that, he's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that if you call attention to your mistake, people will notice it.
Oh, yeah.
If you just go blasting right on through, nobody will even know.
Except
So when I was like
except-
listening to myself on the soundboard and there was an echo and I kept getting like mic locked
wow,
every
yeah,
like,
it's like that.
so I was like turning like if you guys only knew how much I screwed up in the net, you'd never have me do another net, but I hide it really well.
Yeah, some of the people said they have a tip where they run another radio in the background.
You know, there's a lot of people that do that, but I don't really
I
like
can't.
listening to one of those.
It's hard because there's a delay. and
You have to keep the volume down or else you
Yeah.
start getting echoes.
Echoes
And then you
and
also
feedback.
start getting the feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you have to use it for is
Somebody
not,
else just showed up.
what you have to use.
Whatever's.
Go ahead, Kevin.
What you have to use that extra radio for is not to hear all of the words and the call, but to just know whether when you're talking, there's somebody else in there.
There's a
Yeah.
double, yeah.
That's the main reason it's there, and you do kind of have to learn to cope with it if you're gonna use it. And that means just turning it down and listening in between your words, before your words, after your words, but not while you're speaking. Just to see, is anybody else talking while I'm talking, you know?
And that's one where I find having the second radio is more trouble than just come on for a word or two, let it go, make sure you've got it, and then go with your
See,
statement.
That's kind of tends to be what I do too, you know, I might say, let's, you know, stand by, click,
Right.
click.
So, you know, for the net here, what I always do is you take the check-ins, and there's, you know, a sequence of people, and you say, all right, let's hold up there, and let off. And if somebody's still talking, you know, you've doubled. And most people heard that, so there's only one guy that didn't hear it. And then you say, all right, hold up again, and then you go through them.
The other thing I've noticed is that you guys have a rhythm to get into.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was last week, with Kevin, you got out of the rhythm, and it was hard for you, where normally you're very smooth and taking the.
You know, you're from none, you're not supposed to get lost.
I have been hearing about this meeting for a month, and I never heard the name of the street.
Lone Tree Avenue.
Lone Tree.
Rebel.
It was on,
It's not on any map. My GPS calls it unpaved road.
it was on the Aries,
Fire station.
It's on the Aries website.
Aries website.
You are right though, I never mentioned the street name and I apologize for that.
I don't run around with a computer terminal in my pocket, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's,
Yeah, this is an odd place to find if you haven't been here.
He was hustling.
There was something like Dave trying to hustle.
I checked in and
got it done,
announced that I was
but
lost.
it wasn't
Yeah.
the natural flow that.
Where-
Did anybody respond?
Well, you know, it just takes repetition, you know, to do these nets, just, you know, keep doing them as much as you can, just so that you get used to it.
and I can't remember what happened last time I lost it, whatever it was, but I guess I
Lost what?
didn't.
You're
well,
always lost.
Out of the rhythm.
Wasn't it me you were talking about
Yes.
that I lost the flow of the
Yeah.
thing?
The
And I
check-ins didn't go as smooth.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
seem to be a
remember.
little off your rhythm.
I can't remember what happened, but I didn't worry about it too much because I was still getting all the
Oh, yeah.
info. You
The
know?
information was there. It's just-
Yeah, I was not maybe where I normally am, but I
Bingo was
also.
probably trying to push him around because he wanted another snack.
Yeah. But I wasn't worried about that so much because the important parts, I had sort of decided by that point, you know, I'd gotten to work. The important part was not how I sounded. I goof up and I sound idiotic occasionally, and that's not so important as, do I have all the info down that I need to have? And, and did I get all the info out?
And one of the
And that's the other point I wanted to make, is that if you're new, and yeah, you're going to be nervous how you sound, but the important thing is not so much how you sound, but are you getting done what needs to happen? If you're sounding a little klutzy because you're new, yeah, that's gonna be that way, but are you accomplishing what's necessary? That's the big thing.
Now, let me point out one other thing. Everybody in this room, when they checked in tonight, were consciously slower, more clear, all of those things, which everybody is on the net is going to naturally be when they hear somebody different on the running it. They're going to take care of you. We're not out there to make a fool of you.
Yeah, we're not embarrassed.
So
Tonight, I possibly could have done it tonight with the way everybody was nice and
Nice and
slow.
slow.
But I listened to some of these and I'm like, how Kevin can pull 5 at one time out.
Oh, you haven't seen the bloviator work. Did you see him work at Phil Day?
yeah,
He can work, he can work, man.
yeah. And see, the thing is that it's practice. It's writing them down. It's running some nets. And the other thing is, don't be bashful about telling somebody, slow it down, do it again.
Yeah. That was kind of what I was hoping would happen tonight somewhere, and it never did.
What about?
Well, it kind of did with Doug and
Yeah, there was that double.
somebody up
there
in
was that double
Estes
in
Park
there.
there.
Yeah,
Estes Park, yeah.
You did a pretty good job of
Yeah.
sorting through that one then too.
What, Dan?
Who is the normal net control for this net?
Nobody.
It varies.
It varies.
Who was it last week and the week before that?
Different people.
Well, Kevin does a lot of them, and Dave has been doing a lot of them
Well,
lately.
Kevin, we know Kevin.
I used to do a lot of them.
I used to do a bunch.
My
I've done
wife is a
Alec did
brand
last
new
week.
technician, scared to death
Of using the
of
radio.
an HT.
You should have
And
dragged her up here.
Did you tell her they don't bite?
no, because sometimes they do. The deal is,
Don't tell her
The
that.
people who have been running this net have done so in a manner that leads her to feel she can participate, that she is welcome,
Oh,
Yeah.
and that she's not gonna screw anything up.
Oh, well, yeah.
well,
But you
that's,
still won't get on the radio?
I'm glad to hear that.
She's working right now. I know she has a radio with her.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when my kids got licensed at first, I had them talking simplex first because there's less of an audience.
Yeah.
They feel like it's a more private area. And then after that, I had them talking on the CSU machine, which had no traffic at all at the time, but it was a repeater. And I got them thinking that way, and they never heard anybody else on the repeater, so they kind of felt like it was their own.
Yeah.
And then once they were comfortable, then they have no problems getting on the 275 or anything else.
Okay, let me tell one more horror story from last year. The floods in Greeley last May. Can't remember the day now. It was in May. We had flash floods in Greeley.
Yeah.
I was running the net again, of course. Everything happens on my day.
We schedule it that way.
Yeah, I know. We had flash floods down there, and I'm getting this information from our people that are on scene, and I'm sitting there trying to call NWS on the radio to give them the information. Tried for 5-10 minutes. Couldn't get them on the radio. So what did I do? I went to the phone, right? Couldn't get through on the phone.
Yeah.
NWS lost their antennas somehow.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so of course they lost their antenna, so everybody in the field was trying to call them on the phone, so you couldn't get through on the phone. So finally they got their antennas working again about 20 minutes or so into it, and finally got the report out. So when I see them next month, I'm going to say, hey, you guys got a third way to get to? Because the first two didn't work last time. So.
What about the use, we always, on the preamble that would go through, using the ITU phonetic alphabet. Now, there are people that don't.
Yeah.
I make them go again.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Make
it screws me up. I'm so
He did that- he did
programmed
that
into
tonight.
ITU phonetic
And
alphabet.
I think it was that we're talking
He
about.
did that
He was
tonight.
using the wrong phonetic alphabet
Yeah.
tonight.
And I told him about it.
Right, sugars go again.
Yeah,
every time.
President Bull.
If you're 80 years old, you're allowed to do it, but
That's,
Well,
yeah,
no,
you're gonna keep doing it until you do a Sierra.
He's not
one.
80, he's 90 something.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
He's got an exception.
Yeah.
You do not.
I know.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
we're
what
talking about
RTS.
Mike.
I learned the NATO.
That's what I was saying. 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 90 something.
Is he?
He's 90s,
But he
yeah.
And for those who don't know about Mike, Mike was in the Battle of the Balls, okay?
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Yes, he was.
You
didn't know the Battle of the Balls.
Yeah, he was in the Battle of
I'm
the
not
Bulge.
surprised, but.
He's 92 now, 92,
Yes.
93.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he was in the Battle of the Balls.
So you would stop and correct them and.
Oh,
No, don't correct.
I don't correct.
would
I
be
don't get it.
with
I
ITU
because
phonetics.
see the problem is that as I'm doing it, it's like it's a buffer. I'm not actually thinking of the calls. I'm just like remembering them
Yeah.
and getting them onto. I do it on an Excel spreadsheet. However you end up recording them, there's a limited amount of time that they're in my head.
Yeah.
So if you come with a sugar, it doesn't register as an S like Sierra does. Therefore, it like screws my buffer up and I will literally just forget it immediately and make you come again. It's not even that I want to screw with you, it's that it doesn't register as the right phonetic. And when I'm in the mode, I'm like, especially like last night, I was dealing with the YouTube, I'm dealing with the net, I'm reading the script, I'm typing everything down. There's so much going on. I literally will kick you back out and make you come again. I won't get it.
Or you can use a second alternative. If somebody comes across and says sugar, just say, yes, honey.
There's so much
a lot of
help.
people who use Zulu, and a lot of people that use Zed.
Zed,
No,
okay,
no,
Zed.
both are correct.
Zed replaces
Zed is
Z.
the letter, Zulu is the word.
Yeah, Zed, there is no Z. Z
Well,
doesn't
Just
exist.
like you say C or D or F, Zed.
When we're talking about using the phonetic alphabet, I mean,
It should be Zulu.
That's why, like Terry, when he checks in, or when I check in,
Who?
Whiskey Zero, Delta Delta Zulu,
yeah.
W0DDZ, Dave from Greeley.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
Z is the letter. I forget Z altogether. Z is not a part of the alphabet.
Okay.
And Z is the letter, Zulu is the word.
Yep.
And Z is just incorrect altogether.
Yeah.
So
And
if I
that's one of
come
those
in-
things you learn when you got a Z. Like, wait,
So if I come in there and check into the net as hiding in Mexico, will that screw you up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't stand it when people do
It
that.
won't mess me up probably because I've heard you say it, but it would mess other people up. And
Well, and
on other nets, when I run them, it's the same thing, Dave. They'll come with an unusual phonetic, and sometimes I get it, and sometimes I don't. And when I don't, they just have to repeat it.
Yeah.
It's because I just didn't get it. And I don't feel bad about that, you know? It just happens. They don't
You know, when you're on the air a lot and you listen to people, you know voices. You come on, and I can write your whole line after about 2 words.
Yeah.
It's just like when when KZOBAM came up,
Yeah.
as soon as I heard it, I said, "Oh, that's Philip."
Yeah.
You know, things
Philip
like
from
that.
Evans. And
You know Jeff's voice and things
yeah.
like that.
And it's one of those things, the more you do it, the more familiar you get with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's still a few people, it's like, I write them down, I know who they are, but I make them repeat it just to be ornery, and, you know, they didn't use phonetics, they went way too fast, for whatever.
The other Mike from Windsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
I didn't wear my name tag tonight, I see it, I forgot, but, yeah.
You haven't none of us wore name
There
tags tonight.
there is another Mike in Windsor.
Yeah.
And so,
I have my name on my shirt this time.
Uh-huh.
See.
You don't have a call sign.
Yeah. It's true. That's on my van.
So you can remember your name. Huh?
Yeah, right. I can remember my name.
But I had a question, if everybody in this room would be comfortable running a net, and if not, why not?
That's what I was trying to ask a few minutes ago.
one of the things, I don't have a discomfort running the net. I have a discomfort running the nets. Where I'm asked to do Wars, Aries, what was the other one? Skywarn. You know, how many bites of the apple can you take? That's the only issue I have with it.
Well, I mean, think about Joe, right? He did the nets for like a year and a half every single Wednesday before he even asked me.
And then it was every Monday.
Down.
And it was every Monday too.
I don't mind sharing.
So like really, like our goal is to get enough people comfortable that it doesn't feel like one person is doing the nets every time. Like for this particular net, it would be nice if we had 7 regulars, 1 for each week, and 3 alternatives that we can spin out and keep a rotation. That way nobody's burned out on it, nobody's doing it once a month. Like that would be ideal for these kinds of nets. Then when something happens and it's Monday, and Steve is like, God, it's my day again. Oh, it's okay, Steve, I'll get it this time. You know what I mean? It's just because it does feel...
I told him I'd back him up on his weekday assignments.
But there's, what, a dozen people in this room, and if you took a net, that you'd be doing it 4 times a year. That's not a big commitment.
No.
That's true.
I mean, the Aries net, there's a lot of people that can do the Aries net. There's a lot of people that can do it.
Yeah, and you know, let's separate too, because if we're just talking one net, Aries, for example, that's it. That Aries net works the same week after week after week with some slight variations depending on what sort of announcements come to the net or things like that. It's the same thing week after week, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's not a good vary.
Bob, but the only thing with the Aries net is if you have the Skywarn portion where you're assigned to
that's not.
No, that's not
the same
strictly
thing.
Aries.
but you have to be available for that time slot. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
For
You're either on the air or available, so you're
Well,
committed to
but
that
that's
time.
if you sign up for
And
Skywarn.
if you're
Yeah.
an anal person like I am, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So, and that's why.
For Aries, we hope that's true.
Yeah, well.
Well, the thing with Skywarn, okay, usually the season only lasts 3 months.
Yeah.
May 1st through the end of July. And we usually have a primary and an alternate assigned to each day of the week. Now, it's no problem, say you're assigned on Tuesday as a primary, but you want to go out of town for vacation. Well, then you talk to the alternate, you talk to the person running Skywarn and say, I'm going to be on vacation. The alternate will cover you.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. It's not that difficult.
And for ARES, the same thing could happen. I mean, I've got a list of folks, but a lot of them want to be called in advance, so I have maybe one or two I can call on the spur of the moment right now. That's, you know, what Dave was saying. It would be nice if we could set up
A schedule.
a schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
And have enough people so that
So
we've
why
got.
haven't you done that yet? You've been talking about it for 6 months.
Well, because we've had 3 people,
'Cause it's you and-
including
It's
Kevin.
you and Dave and Phil and me.
Well, we just have to push, okay? Push people to come out.
Well, and that's kind of been our goal, and we're trying to come up with ideas on how to do that, including having
racking
like
my brain
announcements
trying
and
to
this.
figure
I mean,
out
it's all working toward the goal of getting enough people comfortable
Yeah.
with nets
Yeah.
that it's not hard to find somebody.
We'd like to
take
get
them.
it to a point where you only, if somebody wants to run the Aries net, that person runs it like once every 2 or 3 months and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't, your first boat was last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did a nice
And
job,
he's willing- He's willing to do it again. So I think that's a pretty good indication that it wasn't that dramatic.
No.
I mean, it was difficult, I'm sure, like.
Well, and there was stuff that came up during that net that we like. It was interesting because it was challenging, and we had to deal with challenges along the way, and so. It was almost nice that we had a more challenging net because tonight was too easy, guys.
Yeah,
I hate to break it to you, but it's better if we deal with challenges and you're seeing how we're working through challenges. But that's what ends up happening is everybody's been hearing about this. Excuse me. So they check in.
Yeah.
Whiskey. 0, Delta. It's never like that, and as they get used to, it's gonna be 30 to do that David Greeley. You know?
See, the thing is that when he ran it the other night,
They
it was slower.
He was.
It was somewhat slower, but
It wasn't as slow as the night.
no, but it also like the repeater wasn't quite open on time, and Kevin was sick, so everybody was worried about Kevin, and we started the stream, and everybody's talking about Kevin, so we're like, oh my god, and then Mike's giving out personal information over the net while the stream is going, so there was just so much going on, and stuff that we ended up having to we didn't have an immediate answer to, and we ended up having to pull the stream and re-edit it without the information in, but that's what I mean, like, we don't know until we run into it. And that's why it's nice to actually have a more challenging net. So while this one was nice and slow, I encourage you guys to take a piece of paper and try to keep up with us on the nets and on a normal net, because when they hear me or they hear Kevin, they're relentless, man.
Yeah.
It's last night, like, people were going in, there was pileups, and I was able to get through. I think I only had a couple of.
Running the Aries net is like going to preschool. There's nothing to it. Once in a while, a hiccup comes up. Okay, now, you want to run a real Aries net where there's actually
Events.
happening, okay?
Yeah.
Now, that's when they can get hot and heavy. Running the Aries regular net is, like I said, it's like
Skywarn.
going to preschool.
Skywarn in the middle of the summer with a
Oh,
storm. You know?
Yeah.
That's a little different situation.
And you know, that was one that really surprised me because during the Bertha tornado, I think it was, I was actually driving home up I-25 on that day, and I saw the tornado. I heard the net going, and I called Kevin to give a report. He couldn't hear me over the hail hitting my car.
Now
Something I had not thought about.
how many people here are going to go to training
Rain
next month
static.
for weather
Yeah.
and Aries and everything else?
Like to.
That's the one
Okay.
in March.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Come on,
Um,
we're free. Might even get lunch out of it too.
You're going to hear certain things from the NWS guy, like things is number 1. Weld County is the number 1 tornado county in the country.
Yep.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Keeps them all.
Weld
The
County
thing is
number
that they
1.
get more
You got
little
that many
ones
trailer
than anywhere else in the U.S. You
The
get
problem
a
is-
smaller number of big ones.
Yeah,
in
the problem
West.
is that most of ours, when we do get them, which has been lacking pretty much for 4 or 5 years now, one of these days that's going to turn around.
Yeah.
Most of ours are F0s, F1s. Once in a while, we'll get an F2 or an F3. The one that was over in Berthoud got up to an F3 at one point. Okay, most of the time it was an F2, but it got up to an F3.
Didn't an F4 go through Wellington at one point, or?
Yes, the one in 2008.
Yeah.
That was the one I was in the basement.
Well, it went through Windsor.
Windsor.
Yeah, that was the Windsor one.
Yeah, it went through Windsor. It went to the. It went
I always
to
screw
the,
those two up, Wellington.
Yeah, it
and
went to the west
To the
of
northwest.
Wellington.
Yeah, it was on ground.
Yeah.
That was a long track tornado with 48 miles.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, think about this now too. This is another unusual fact for this area. That tornado, the Windsor tornado, went from the southeast to the northwest.
Yeah, that's.
What have you always heard in your whole life? That tornadoes go to the northeast, right? Or to the east.
Yep.
In this area, they go any way they want to.
Learned that.
And that's because we're right against the mountains. We get that flow and everything else, and they just do whatever they want. Okay? The one last year, it was going northeast, and it finally dropped the tornado up towards Hereford.
Yep.
Okay? But they go any direction they want to in this area. You know? That's why if you're out chasing a storm, it's good, number one, to have a pad with you or something that you can actually see the storms on your pad.
Yeah.
Okay? Because those things, they'll move, and you can also ask the controller, the net control, saying, where's the storm going? Am I okay? Do I need to move?
Yeah.
I think last year, I told you to move, didn't I?
Yeah.
And he was,
I was
coming out of
coming towards you.
Yeah, he was going right at the
West.
end of the storm. So you kind of swung out to the east, didn't you?
Well, I slowed down,
Yeah, well, you slowed down,
got
okay.
behind it.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's the key thing when we're out there doing Skywarn is safety of the spotters is the number one thing. Okay? So if we go to an active net, if I get people starting to call in from their house checking into the net, I'm gonna get really upset. But I'm gonna explain that at the training. I like the safety of the spotters that are in their cars following these storms is the number one thing. So if we go active, I don't want these people sitting in the house saying, oh, I'm here at my house, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
If it's not the active net and we're in the standby
Standby.
net, you can do that. I don't care. But if we're inactive, no. Because
I
number
think
one
this-
thing is safety.
I think the script indicates that maybe, but I don't remember.
I don't think it says that. It doesn't say that.
Can you put it in there?
Yeah, because I have the script.
Yeah.
I'm Skywarn. Starting this year. So there's gonna be a few changes, nothing big, just a few.
But
Small
that's
things.
almost common sense, but.
It is common sense, but you'd be amazed at how many people
Well, I
will do
wouldn't.
that.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, no.
I'm at home, it's perfectly fine looking here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say,
That was important.
Or I'm getting pea-sized hail, who cares? It's not reportable. If it's overflowing the road or something, it's a hazard for traffic, then yes. But if it's just pea-sized, I don't care.
And the script does say that. And
Yes,
we
it
still
does.
had- And we still had people.
We still get people calling in.
Well, like what we had last year, it was pea-sized hail, but it was so much that it was plugging up the culvert.
Exactly.
Yeah, that,
Or when you start getting 2 inches.
And
Yeah.
they had to get the snow plows
Yeah,
out
last
to
year.
move the hay.
yeah.
And that's when it makes a difference.
Oh, yeah, that's what it makes it down. So
Anyway,
anyway,
back to the nets.
the net.
Anybody not comfortable running a net?
Well, I could tell you,
One of these.
I'd have problems right away because I'd have to work on my phonetics. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you, Eric and I both, I worked for IBM for 20 years, and before that, I've been in IT my
Poor
whole
girl.
business life. And
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, but it's a different phonetic alphabet that we use.
Well, and that's where
you can find
listening on the
that.
nets.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Thursday night, just get a pad of paper and sit by your radio and just write them down, just like you run it.
And if you need to study it, I think it's in the textbook, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
The
it is.
league has a page,
Yeah.
just print off the web page, put it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
You
I
do
But
did.
you gotta memorize it.
Yeah.
That's what I did, I printed it off and then I just put it on the dash there. so
Mhm.
I can
I have to
come-
reprogram my brain
Yeah.
to do
Yeah,
a
there
different.
is some of that.
There is that.
Well, but eventually it clicks, and then it's
Yeah,
and that's when the non-standard IT like phonetics screw you up, is because it's
Yeah.
just it's
Yeah.
your brain is programmed, and you get a flow like you guys had said, and you work inside the flow. When somebody breaks that, then
Well, and see, the thing is that I know most of the phonetic alphabets, but the ones where people just go completely off in the left field,
Oh, yeah.
throw
Yeah.
me.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
You know,
if you work on
sugar
it,
and
yeah.
Sierra, I got those, whatever.
Sugar still screws me up, man. Like,
I told you what to do, just say yes, honey.
I feel you. My wife might get mad about that, though.
What about you guys? You guys gonna run a net?
See Sandy
I would
going
like
through
running a net, but I would want to be.
With somebody.
Yeah.
Well, that can be arranged.
That can be done.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
did that last week, so. I mean,
You know, that probably ought to be done for all of us so that we're not dependent on anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, see, like Dan, he can come over to my house. He only lives half a mile away, maybe.
Okay.
Mile,
Well, there you go.
Really?
you know.
I feel.
Rick, you gonna run one?
But he lives outside of town.
I live farther out than he does.
Yeah,
Why not?
City County. I have to live in the county.
Yeah, but why not now?
Aren't you up tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, isn't there a net tomorrow? I don't know.
Friday's the only,
Creating
Friday and
nets.
Saturday about the only
It's
two
the
days.
non-net net.
Yeah.
I run the sandbagger net all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Bet you do.
Yeah, because you're saying that.
I can understand that running a net is not necessarily for everybody, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't want to push people into nets that
Don't want
aren't
to do it.
interested.
Yeah.
But if you're somewhat interested and you just are afraid to take it, you're the ones I really want to reach to and work with, because it's not as big a deal, and you can learn to, and this is one of the best places to do it, because we've got a lot of the same routine over and over again. And
You
that's
gotta hold
why.
your hand up higher so Kevin can see it.
Yeah.
He was talking about driving the other night.
Yeah, I know. And we're all going, we're gonna get off the road.
Yeah, I've listened
I was
to-
flying the other day, so.
Yeah, you really were. Now, I've listened to N7 GES, not necessarily on a formal net, but just being there on the 7275 repeater every afternoon.
Yeah, he's always out there. Why do you think I call him the bloviator?
If I had a script to say what was said tonight, because you gotta do that
That's
just right.
We have
That's
to.
what he
If I
did.
had one of those in front, I could do that.
Sure.
I've listened to him, how he handles doubles and people who try to take it over and take it somewhere else, okay?
Yeah.
I got a novice ticket in 1963, and the first thing I learned was listen first,
Yeah,
okay?
There you go.
there you go.
Each of you men, I've heard you. I've learned from you. Thank you.
Hopefully you learn good habits.
One of the things.
I've got a 63 call book. What was
When
your
we
call?
started up,
WN0CZE.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't even remember my old call sign first time.
When we started up with the videos of the different events, you know, like the training sessions and stuff like that, it was fantastic, especially if you can't make it. Then when we started the videos of the weekly nets and things like that, I kind of poo-pooed it, you know, like, oh, that's kind of dull. Then I found out we were getting attention from the United States. Well, here's another example. If you want to become net control, go over the tonight's or any of the other nets, and as they call in, you can write
can
down
practice
the
that. That's
call
a great
signs as
idea.
they
Yeah,
come
you
in
can
and
practice
take it
on it.
as if you were training.
Yeah.
So it's another opportunity without the
But the
pressure.
good
of a
thing
real
is that
live-
this script is on the Colorado Aries R3D2 website. You can print it out anywhere, anytime.
Well, I'm just saying, the videos can help you just train.
Yes.
Same thing with
Yes.
the Wednesday NCARC net script.
Yeah, they're
It's
all
on,
out there.
it's on the NCARC page.
R3D2.
I think I'd
That's
rather start
who we are,
with
R3D2.
a Thursday
Region
simplex
3
net.
District 2.
Well, there you
Do
go.
something
And
like
I need people for that too, because, and I mentioned that in the email this morning. I had to call somebody kind of late last week, and I've been running that net since Randy left, without, anybody else really available easily. Last week, there was no way. I was not feeling well. Tooth out and all of that, it was not cool. So, but I didn't prepare Alec well, because I didn't get him a script or anything else, so he was having to wing it, and I don't know what happened to all our check-ins, whether people couldn't hear him or what, but it was probably a combination of things that led to that not working all that well, but
Well,
that's
and the thing
same
is,
thing.
you know, my 2 cents on that is that the simplex net is a tough one to run. Because there's a lot of times you don't hear everybody, there's a lot of relays going on. That's got an
Aries is
challenge to
probably
it.
one of the easiest nets
Yeah.
to run. It's 15 minutes of check-ins and then let
Yeah.
Right.
everybody do their thing and thanks for checking
Yeah.
in. See ya, I'm out.
You know, and
It's an easy
my
net.
pet peeve with this thing, and it's on the script, and I don't know why people don't follow it as much, but
You mean people like Kevin?
I won't talk about Kevin.
Why not? Everybody else says.
No, it's battery emergency, out through Mike, battery emergency, out through Zulu,
And
regular power, out through Mike, and those 4 categories. And the thing that people miss, because I don't think you can write the script any better. It's just simply a case of, it's there, you gotta take all your check-ins, and then the next one. And it's important to repeat, battery or emergency power, out through Zulu. Or all powers, just so that you get that and get all the right people in at the right time. The goal of separating it like that is so that you reduce doubles. You
Well,
get fewer people vying to check in at the same time.
And the other goal, I mean, obviously the battery or emergency is to get them in first and then the commercial power in, you know. So
I don't think it really matters.
it may not really matter.
Because you're gonna listen the whole time.
Yeah.
The only reason that I think that battery is first is to let them check in first as a reward for using battery.
Who all tonight checked in from commercial power?
Well, we didn't really have
Who checked in with one of these?
everybody did. except-
Everybody here
Who
did.
ran the net with one of these?
Well, we
Yeah,
ran
we
the
had a
off the
radio.
battery.
I was gonna ask
Yeah,
you,
that's
how
on
long was
battery.
that battery last?
Hours. Hours and
David, how
hours.
far away do you live from the tower up there on 100?
Yeah,
Just under 5/8 of a mile.
I really like that.
We might be putting a repeater up there next
Yeah,
year.
'cause I got one of TYTs, that's.
Have at it. Although I will say,
It belongs to the county.
with respect to the emergency net, or the Aries net particularly, the Horsetooth repeater, which is, I guess, the 7275, this little box gets it wonderfully.
Yeah.
No problem whatever, with this antenna.
Yeah, if you have the longer antenna like you and I have, you can do that from inside the house. But if you have the short stubby one, it won't work from in the house. I mean, mine did.
I had a Balfung and it wouldn't work from anywhere.
I had this is a Balfang.
Yeah.
I got it work everywhere.
This is balanced.
Yeah, I got it work everywhere. I got 3 of them.